Welcome back. So, last time we got the rocket to move according to the position of our mouse. The next step on the journey to making the rocket we wanted to make it is by being able to control the rocket with our keyboard instead of our mouse. So, if you look at my screen currently, I'm moving my mouse around, but the rocket's not moving. However, when I press the arrow keys, left, up, down, and right, it moves around the screen. So that is going to be the behavior that we are going to work towards. There is one particular programming tool that we need to learn in order to make this a reality, and that is if statements. And to quickly explain kind of why, is that you notice I'm going to press the right arrow key. And when I press the right arrow key, it moves to the right. And when I press the left arrow key, it moves to the left. So we need to tell the computer, hey, if I'm pressing the right arrow key, move the rocket to the right. If I'm pressing the left arrow key, move the rocket to the left. Up arrow key up, down arrow key down. So let's see how we can go about doing that. So I'm going to jump into the code. And as always, there'll be a link in the video description to follow along. I'm going to go ahead and make a fork of the code so I don't lose this progress. And this is how you can as well edit it. So this is going to open for me a new window. I jump into script.js. I can close this stuff. And here's my code. Click the run button, and we have the rocket the way we designed it previously. Now, we are going to look at how to write if statements. So for this part, I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff. So what I did was I just selected all of it, and I said command on Mac / or control / on Windows, and it creates a comment. So now all of this is just, it's telling the computer, hey, don't actually run this. It's a comment. So if statements look like the following. You say if, inside of these brackets then, you put some sort of condition. And if that condition comes to true, whatever is inside these curly brackets runs, and then you can write else, and then whatever inside those curly brackets runs. You can write as many as you want, one after another. So I can say if, and I can have a different statement. Now, let's work with an example to make it clearer. Let's imagine I have a variable. I'm going to call it number of legs. Okay, and I'm going to set it equal to 2. Now we're going to have a couple different animals we're going to play with. One of them is going to be a human, right? And a human has 2 legs. Oh, has 2 legs. The next one is a dog. They have 4 legs. And then we have a spider. They have 8 legs. So what we are going to write is we're going to write a program that as I change the number of legs over here, the computer is going to print out what animal it is. So the way you do that in code is using if statements as follows. So I'd say if, open brackets, and now here you put the condition. So I'm going to say number of legs. And now I'm going to say equals 2. Now notice, over here, it's 1 equals. When you have 1 equals, it's assignment. So you're saying, hey, make number of legs equal to 2. When you have 2 equals, you're using comparators. You're comparing. It's saying, hey, is number of legs equal to 2? So if I were to say equal to, this wouldn't work. You have to say equals 2. So the computer will come here and will say, okay, if this is true, then run whatever code is inside of here. Else, you can do this, else whatever code is there. So I could do the following, console.log, and I can say human. I'm going to find a nice human emoji we can use. Got this guy over here, and there we go. And then otherwise we can say console.log, we could say not human. And we can maybe put a sad face. Hit run. And what you see in the console down here is that we get human. If I change number of legs, if I make it 3, we're going to get not human. Okay? But now we want to include dog and spider with 4 and 8. So now there are 2 ways we could do this. We could either write multiple if statements. Let's start with that. So I could write another if statement and say if number of legs equals 4. And then I can say if number of legs equals 8. And then inside of both of these, I can say console.log, and this is a dog. Let's get our dog emoji. There he is. And then we can say console.log and we say spider. And let's get our spider emoji. No code will be complete without an emoji. All right, so, and I hit run now, nothing happens. So because number of legs is equal to 3, it's going to run each one of these if statements. So I'll run this. Number of legs is not equal to 2, so this won't run. Number of legs is not equal to 4, so this won't run. Number of legs is not equal to 8, so this won't run. If I change this to 4, then I'm going to get dog. And there we are. So that's one way. Another way is by using something called else if. So we could write it like this. Else if number of legs equals 4. Else if number of legs equals 8. So with this one, what will happen is that it's another way of writing the same thing. It's going to do the same thing. But the difference between this and the way we had it previously, if I control Z quickly, to this, is that when one of them executes, so when it finds out one of them, it won't run the other ones. So when I put it back to this, as soon as one of these conditions is found to be true, it's going to stop. So if it's 2, only this code will stop. It won't run these other if statements. Whereas if I don't have the else if, it will run each one. It doesn't have a difference so much in regards to output, but just performance down the line. So let's fill that in. Console.log, and I can put, actually, let's just copy paste, save our lives a little bit here. Copy that into there, and copy that to there. And then I can get rid of these two bad boys. I'll hit this format button to make it look nice. Always check for extra brackets. What you can see here, with every bracket, you need one opening and one closing. Here we got a stray extra bracket, which is going to give us an error, so we can get rid of it. And we hit run, and then we still get dog. Cool. What happens if we put number of eggs 8? We should get spider. Cool. Okay, it's working. Now, the last thing is you can also just have an else statement right at the end. And an else statement runs if all of these aren't true. So we'll run this one, or run this one, or run this one. If none of them are true and it gets here, then whatever is here, so it's going to say, we can say animal not found. And let's put a sad face, because we don't know what animal this is. Cool. So if I put number of legs as 9, run. Animal not found. Okay, so that's the syntax and general way of going about an if statement. Now I'm going to introduce another problem. So we know spiders have 8 legs, but so too do octopusi. Octopi, that's the word. Octopi, maybe? Regardless, you know what I'm saying. So how do we differentiate between these two things? They both have 8 legs, but we need a way of saying one is an octopus and one is a spider. So with this, we can go further into if statements. And I'm going to make another variable over here called let underwater. And I'm going to make that equal to true. So we've seen numbers before, we've seen strings, and then these are booleans. Booleans can either be true or false. So I'm going to say underwater, and it's true. And I'm going to put number of legs is equal to 8. Now, I can put an if statement inside of another if statement. So if the number of legs is equal to 8, and it's underwater, then we know it's an octopus. Else, it's a spider, because it's not underwater. Or maybe we get underwater spiders, which wouldn't be fun. So console.log octopus. And let's get our octopus emoji. There she is. And run. And if we go run now, we get octopus. If I change underwater to false, we should get spider. Perfect. Okay, so now we can see we're testing for number of legs first. And then if number of legs is equal to 8, then all of this code will run. And it will go through a similar process as when it started up here. It will run all of these if statements. So it's not underwater currently because it's false. Therefore, it's a spider. If it was, it would be an octopus. If I were to change this to 2, this doesn't make a difference. Whatever we write here, we could put 1,000,003 if statements for every 8-legged octopus or animal in the planet. It doesn't make a difference because the second the code comes across this, it will run it and it will stop. So if I run that, we get human. So that's a quick introduction to if statements, and we'll jump into how to now make the rocket move according to this.